What's up gamers, Mark from MjsGames here, hope you are all keeping well. Guys, we are back with our second month now into the 0 to 20k challenge, and it has been a quiet month, as I said on the previous video. February is generally a very busy time for the company I work for, so I have been in the office quite a lot, going to a lot of meetings. So there is going to be a very small video for you, but just to give you a very quick recap, guys, just basically taking bulk and spare cards that I had at home and looking to actually trade that up to a £20,000 card. The prime target for me is a Skyridge Charizard. PSA 10 comes in around about £20,000, or it did so in recent kind of sold history on eBay. But if I can't get that, then I will be aiming for the trio, so the Charizard, Blastoise and Venusaur in a PSA 10, as they do come in around about £18,000 to £19,000. So yeah, that is what I'm kind of like aiming for. But guys, everyone has so far commented who have watched the last video that they're inspired. There are some people who are jumping on board as well, who have been messaging me on Instagram and email as well. A lot of friends are kind of inspired as well, because there is a lot of cards out there that they want to try and target, especially as we are in kind of a bit of a dip at the moment in the Pokemon market. Obviously that can change at any time. It can suddenly go up, you know, next month or the month later. But basically we're just trying to make headways now, give them a bit of advice, and obviously anyone at home who wants to take part in the challenge as well, you're more than welcome to join us. All you need to do, guys, is just make sure that you actually go back, watch the previous video, which I'll link down below, and also just make sure that you actually hit the bell notifications, do subscribe and hit the thumbs up button on this video as well, guys. It just allows me to know that you're enjoying this content, and that you want to actually keep seeing how I actually do over the next few months. But let's get into the quick recap for month 2. So February was a very quiet month, as I've already said at the start there. Basically for the first couple of weeks there was very little. Just to give you a quick recap, we did actually have, just looking at the screen here, £88.04 at the start of the month. Now that was through me taking the spare bulk that I had at the start of the month and a number of Japanese and English single cards as well, selling them on eBay, whatnot, and basically just selling them as quickly as I could. Now I have recently opened up into other markets such as Instagram, Facebook as well, buying off eBay myself personally as well, to try and turn a profit as quickly as possible. But I have also reached out to friends as well who have watched my previous video, who have said that they want to actually sell some cards, get a bit of quick cash for themselves, bills, you know, cost of living crisis and all that, but that's a whole nother story. But basically they just want to get rid of cards, so that's kind of opened up. Now guys, if you do have that kind of network at home, it could be the fact that you've got a local market, like here in Newcastle we've got an amazing market over Tynemouth Way, which is on every Saturday and Sunday, and we've got fabulous people like Isabel from Ori Newcastle who's there. We've got Chef in Pokey Wilkes who runs a store there as well, and also Deakim as well. So guys, if you are ever in the northeast area and you are looking to do some amazing trades with these fantastic people, Tynemouth Market on Saturday and Sunday, I can literally tell you they've got such a wide selection and they are amazing people. But in kind of like the short term, I have been kind of sticking close to home, just my friends who I know online, whatnot, which I stream on, and also eBay and Facebook. Now, first trade that I actually did this month was when I went online, and I have a few friends who are big fans of certain cards, and though I knew that they had a Japanese Team Rocket Scyther, but an opportunity came up to actually buy a PSA English Gym Heroes Scyther. So when I was looking at that, there was a best offer, so they were originally selling it, I think it was like £35 or so, and basically I put in an offer of 26, they counter offered about 27 or so, and eventually we made a deal which we actually purchased it for £27. Now with shipping included, it came to £30.51, which automatically brought our total down to £57.63 total left in our budget. Now that came by next day delivery, which was absolutely fantastic, and that card was actually sold on Facebook for a total of £39, which with shipping as well was about £5 that I quoted the gentleman. So you paid £44. Overall the shipment was only about £4.70 for signed recorded first class. He didn't want to do next day delivery or anything, so that then brought our balance back up after selling that card within a couple of days to £96.83. So basically, as I've been saying to you guys, I've been keeping track of absolutely everything, the money that goes out and the money back in. Now, what was quite nice is that was a very, very quick turnaround. It only took literally about 2 days to sell that card. Posted it on a few groups on Facebook, which I am part of. And somebody jumped on the opportunity to get the card. It was absolutely beautifully clean. I think they're actually going to try and regrade that card with another grader, because there was no whitening on the back, nothing. So I think they believe that it could get a higher grade and therefore be worth more, which is why they actually went up to kind of the £39 to actually do that. Now, with that money there, we then went back in to eBay, had a look around over the next couple of days, see what was on. Unfortunately, there were a few things that I missed out on. Some absolutely beautiful cards. There was some called Pokemon Rumble that come in a collection box that came out in celebration of a Nintendo 64 game. I did miss out on those, unfortunately, by literally 50-60 pence per card. I could have literally got 7 or 8 cards for that kind of budget, under £100. But unfortunately I did miss out on them. But one of my friends actually hit me up on Instagram. I did put a message out to a group that I'm on saying if anybody is selling any cards, singles, Japanese, English, Korean, anything like that, I'd be interested. And after going through a binder, my friend actually came across a number of cards, which I still do have a couple, but he ended up finding a bundle of about 75 cards. There were a mix between English and Japanese. Majority English, so I think it was about 60 English and then about 14-15 were Japanese. This card is actually one of them, a Neuven. Now, basically, he just wanted a quick sale, he needed cash ASAP. So I did actually offer him originally about £45 based on recent sold history on eBay. He actually then said, look, if I added in a few more kind of higher end cards, could you do 60? Which we agreed on. That included next day delivery as well. And we agreed on a price of £60 for those 75 cards. So we actually got those cards on the 24th, next day delivery. Basically what I was able to do was, I had a stream anyway coming on the Sunday morning. I always stream on a Sunday morning. But what I did was a single stream, which is where I took all the cards, listed them individually, and basically sold them to people. Now, for those who are not too sure about how Whatnot works, is as a seller myself, I've got to pay 10.9% commission to Whatnot and for card processing plus 30 pence per item. Now, on that actual Sunday itself, we actually made a total of £86.39 after fees. So the actual total was £99 bang on. We then paid £12.61 in fees to Whatnot. So that brought our total to £86.39. But we didn't sell all the cards. What I was able to do was bundle quite a few cards together. I think we sold around about 35-40 cards in total, which wasn't too bad. There were a lot of people who were bidding against each other. It was on an auction phase, which is kind of like eBay, where you can increase your bid amount based on the time that is actually set. So for me, I was doing 15 seconds. And yeah, we actually made a really decent amount of money. But the biggest shock was when I actually streamed on the 29th of February, which I had the rest of these cards. I went, right, okay, had a few packs, let's just do a stream, get on, try and reach the community, see what we could get, being the last day of the month. And the community didn't let us down. With those last about 35-40 cards that we had, plus a couple of packs, which is not included in the sales data, it is solely the cards itself. We actually made another £82 in sales on the singles itself. After fees, which was £11.04, we made another £70.96. So on the last day itself, we actually made £70.96. Now, those 2 days were absolutely phenomenal in regards to sales of those original cards that we spent £60 on. That was it. We actually made a combined £157.35 over those two streams after fees, which meant that we actually made a profit of £97.35. So what I'm just trying to indicate here is just the power of individual cards. Certain people will want cards for their own private collections. You can trade them as well at Comic Cons or card shows as well. So guys, if you ever do have binders of cards, don't think they're worthless, because a lot of these cards I had were just trainer gallery cards from Sword and Shield, a lot of gallery cards in full arts from Scarlet and Violet sets as well, which generally you would think that they're actually useless, but there's a lot of people out there that want them. So even if you get 2 or 3 that sell for £4 or £5, a couple of bigger ones that sell for £10 to £15, it all adds up. Now, obviously, if you do this at card shows, you're going to benefit from that, because you're going to be able to trade multiple lower value cards for a higher card. So this is my tip to you for this month. If you have a binder of cards, don't think that they're worthless all combined or individually. They're not. They're actually worth something to someone of whoever is willing to trade with you. And if you do see a slab that you might like, go up and offer them a trade. Do not be afraid to do that, because at the end of the day, that's what traders are there for. They're traders. They're there to have a look at your collections, see what it is that you've got, and maybe take on new stock and inventory from yourselves. So that is my big tip for this month. Do not be afraid to approach people for trades when you go to card shows, because honestly, it does benefit you. So overall, where this leaves us for the month, we've actually just kind of like almost doubled our money on last month, where we finished on £88.04. We actually finished on £194.18 for the month of February. So we are going into March. There is already a card that I am watching. It's a Venusaur PSA 9, which is from, I think, Expedition. That does actually have a buy it now on it, but I'm just waiting for generally, if you start watching an item, a seller, especially around kind of like a low fee weekend, which is actually coming up next week, will actually send you an offer. So I'm waiting to see what they do on that, because it is priced around about £45 at the moment. So I'm just seeing if I can actually snag that, because it is a beautiful card, especially a reverse holo Venusaur from such an old set. So guys, I hope this was enlightening to you. I hope you've actually enjoyed the video and the content. Like I say, make sure you do hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the thumbs up as well. Let's try and get this video to around 50 likes. And also comment down below how you are doing yourself, or whether or not you do want to take part in the challenge. It's not too late. We're only just finishing our second month, but we are going into a third month now, where I do have more time to actually do more streams. I am going to some card shows as well, especially in April. So I do believe this month I'm aiming to get to around about £400. So kind of like doubling our money again this month, if not a little bit extra. And then come April, I'm actually going to 4 card shows in April, including one on my birthday on the 7th of April. So we've got a lot of opportunity in the coming months. And then we get into summer. There is Comic Con Newcastle, there is the card show in Newcastle as well, which I'm going to, which has a lot of individual sellers and traders. So there's a lot of potential to make this like really skyrocket in the coming months. So guys, all I just want to say is thank you so much for joining me again, and until next time, happy gaming. Bye bye.